Hey yo. Alright, that's enough of that music. Holy moly. Holy moly. Gonna have to put up the number for the suicide prevention hotline after that number. Hey now. Are we live? Looks like we're live. Looks like we're live, everybody. Hey yo. Yeah, that's right. New music. Your buddy Z has to watch what he plays. Apparently YouTube doesn't like, their content creators to have any fun. Apparently Disney sing-alongs are a no-no. So we're going to watch our step here for a little bit in terms of what we play, copyrighted stuff, etc., etc. But anyways, welcome back. I should welcome myself back. I was in YouTube jail for a week. People say, oh, well, Z, where's your backup channel? Well, I have backup channels now. What do you want from me? I have a couple of them now. I'll drop the link a little bit later. Actually, let me drop the link now, see how it works. All right, looks like it's active. All right, guys and dolls. The link for my second channel is in the chat. It's not my backup channel. That would be a no-no. But it's a second channel, which I found out is like not hard to make. You click like 2 buttons, and then like YouTube gives you a new channel. So that's cool. So click the link and sub it up. In case they put me in YouTube jail again. It felt weird. Like I was able to comment. Like if you guys left me any comments on my channel, I was able to reply back. But I couldn't post anything. I couldn't stream anything. So that was weird. I'm starting to think that this whole YouTube thing is, and social media in general, it's like a trap. It really is. It's like, I don't know, the ultimate like adult popularity contest. You remember when you were a kid, you'd run for like class president, class secretary, and it was just a big popularity contest. It was who was the popular kid at the moment, who could sort of drum up the most excitement about themselves. And they've done it to us here. Because everybody who has a YouTube channel, you're basically a content creator. So we're basically like all like pitted against each other in some weird like pre-adolescent popularity contest. It's very strange. I don't like it. But I'm here anyway, yapping at you all. Part of me, like when I was on the break, I'm like, oh God, like, you know, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Because, you know, guys, I'm always like thinking. It's kind of like my problem. I'm just like thinking too much. And I'm like, why am I playing into like their whole matrix? I don't need to do this. What am I doing? Meanwhile, I created a Rumble account, an Odyssey account. I should drop those links in too. But I'm like, oh, I'm getting deeper in their matrix. And then all you guys are like, Z, where's your Facebook page? You need a Facebook page, an Instagram. I'm like, oh, I guess I have to start those things too. It's a part of it. I look at it like this. Either I'm going to be in or going to be out. If I'm going to be in, I need to be in. If I'm ever out, then I'm out. I can't do this halfway shit. That's like the weird part about this whole fucking experience. So weird. But I'm sticking by my decision. I will not break my protocol, as my good friend Bobby the Bee Warrior says. He said, Z, what's your protocol in terms of your socialization here on the metaverse? And My number one protocol is no consorting with the listeners. Sorry, ladies. I've said it before, but I'm just going to reiterate. Oh, I know, hearts are breaking all across the metaverse. Don't worry, Cadence. I hear We Are Awake TV's coming back, so I'm sure you'll be fine once your boy Ian comes back. Z will be old news. Anyway, I got a hard line. No fraternizing on the metaverse. Which is weird. It's a weird situation with me because, like, I'm much cooler here, metaversally, than I am, like, in real life. In real life, I'm just like a guy walking around, doing stuff. Here, I have, like, this whole persona, this whole thing going. And then I'm like, all right, so how's that going to work? So I meet somebody IRL, which stands for in real life for all you boomers out there. So I meet somebody IRL, and then, like, what? Am I like, oh, well, I got a YouTube channel. I got an IG account. Are you verified? No. What does that mean? I don't know. And then they're like, oh, what's your channel about? And then that's that moment. I'm like, oh, well. See, it's complicated either way. Because then I'm like, oh yeah, I got a channel, check it out. And they come on here and just listen to me going off. They're like, oh, what do you mean? Oh, you're one of those people. You're a conspiracy theorist. Yeah. It's kind of like you can't win either way. That's the rub, guys. You really can't win. That's why you really just got to laugh at it. Laugh at the whole thing. It's funny, really. It's absurd. It's surreal, this existence. Where's Mr. Talcott when you need him? I've decided that I'm going full Talcottian in my mindset. I've been listening to Jack more and more, which is strange. He's like a mind bug. Like, if you listen to Jack, there's certain parameters that need to be met. He can't be too loud, too soft. He sort of needs to be in the background where you can't really focus on what he's saying. You just need to experience his whole neuro-linguistic programming like presentation. If you listen to Jack long enough, he'll mind fuck you to such a point where you'll start to, like, synchronize with the Talcottian. I think I'm there. I'm going full Talcottian. I don't really want to think for myself anymore. I'm kind of tired of having accountability and responsibility, and I need to turn over all agency to somebody. And I think it's going to be Jack Talcott. That's going to be my new approach to life. Because hell, we all need a guru. Who's with me? Let's go full Talcottian. Much like Jack, I find myself pondering. What is this life? Is this real? Very strange. Yeah, London man. London man, if you're going to follow anybody, if you're going to cede all accountability and agency over to somebody, it might as well be Jack. What can go wrong? Could you imagine? Right, Jack saved my life. Look at that, Jack. You're creating miracles here in the metaverse. You're saving lives. Hey, why not, everybody? Where am I? A little weird this morning. I don't have my sound effects. I don't have my music. I don't know what I could play. London Man, like, what kind of shit can I play? Like, I don't know where I am now. Like, can I play my little sound effects in the background? What are you going to do to me, YouTube? You going to come down hard on me? Like, what's going on? For months and months, you just let me kind of like play whatever I wanted. I'm not really trying to reproduce things here. Like, is it so bad if like we sing along to the sound of music? Like, what's up with that? Like, I don't understand. We'll figure it out as we go along, guys. There's ways to do things. Let me drop the link for my second channel now. I should see if I could pull up the links for my my other channels while I'm here. Let me see if I can pull up my Rumble account. Let me see. So here's Rumble. Bear with me, guys. We're getting back in the swing of things here. Calm down, everybody. It's a long journey. Everybody wants things all at once. Tired of it. My content, my channels, yeah. Account overview of you. Go to my channel. No, I don't want to go there. Leave site. Oh, whatever. I'm trying to pull the link from my Rumble. Not like anybody's gonna fucking go to Rumble anyway. Like, I'm gonna try to drop my link for my Rumble channel, but how many of you guys are really gonna like go to Rumble to listen to me? Nobody. I'll fucking do it anyway if I could find it. That's what people say. Oh, Z, go to another platform. Go here. Go to what was the one that everybody was trying to get me signed up for? Rockfin. That's where a lot of like people in these communities are on Rockfin. People were coming to me months ago. Oh, Z, go to Rockfin. They pay you in cryptocurrency. Now everybody's telling me like the real story about Rockfin. Apparently, all the content creators are getting screwed, except the most heavy hitters. So there's like a handful of people on Rockfin making out. Apparently, everybody else just kind of got duped. It's like, oh, okay. So that's the deal. You're just going to get everybody over and behind these paywall channels and just sort of shadow ban like all of them. And then I was thinking like about these guys that get completely deplatformed. Like I was thinking about Owen Benjamin, like fucking Alex Jones. I'm like, wow, people could be deplatformed. Like, what's the rationale behind that? To deplatform somebody, you know? It's not even just about like deleting their YouTube channel or channels. Like you're deleting them. And of course, with the AI, like it's easy to identify people's image and voice. You can't even upload stuff for like Owen Benjamin or Alex Jones. They'll just delete it. You can't even have a channel where you're like uploading some of their videos and stuff. It's very strange that people could be deplatformed. And not only just like on YouTube, but you'll get deplatformed across multiple platforms. I guess that's the whole point of deplatforming. You know, which begs the question, are these like independent companies? If you could just be wiped off like all social media platforms instantaneously, what does that really say about the control structure here? And people just go along with it. Like it's fine. There's no argument that anybody could justify, to me anyway. There's no argument that could be made that'll justify it to me. Because people say, oh, well, Z, you know, it's They're companies. They're private companies. They may be publicly traded, but they're corporations, so to speak. Well, okay, but do those corporations not use public utility for their functioning? What are we talking about here? Are they not the new town square? There's no town square. I live in a town. We have like parks in the middle of town. Nobody goes there. There's like one guy that like lives in the park. Since he moved in, nobody even goes and walks through the park. This is the town square. This is where people meet to discuss, communicate, socialize. This is where it happens. When you deplatform somebody, you're essentially cutting them off from society, the community. This is where it happens, digitally. So how can somebody even be deplatformed? The fact that there's a term that exists to describe that phenomenon is crazy to me. Which is so interesting because we were given the promise of the digital age. We were given the promise of technology, the IT age, the information age, which at first seemed promising. It was alluring. The early internet, wow, accessed all the information that's out there, the touch of your fingers. Well, little did we know. Like, what an ingenious scheme. You digitize all the information. You create advanced algorithms to control what's searchable, how it's searched. And then eventually you just alter the information, present whatever you want. Talk about a bait and switch. I mean, who needs book burnings when you could just basically take all the books, digitize them, then control how the information is disseminated. You just tell people whatever you want. Welcome to the new age, everyone. That's why more and more I'm like, what I'm seeing is mass dissatisfaction. Is that a word? Let's make it a word. People are dissatisfied with their being, with their lives. People say, "Oh, Z, you're just projecting." Okay, maybe I am projecting. If it makes sense to you, then it makes sense to you. If you're so great, then good for you. We'll go to your channel. Listen to your high vibes. Everybody wants the high vibe. We're high vibing. I'm seeing through it, everybody. Get over yourselves. Everybody has this homogenized presentation. This sanitized persona. It's no good. You're not helping people. We've had people come on this channel. I don't have to point out people's names, and people who've come on and they're in a bad state because they look at their lives, they see where they are, and they're comparing their lives to these online personas. Because everybody wants to come on with a persona, and I get it. That's part of it. What you're doing, you're just basically lying to people. Maybe you're lying to yourself. You're creating false expectations in people. If you're a content creator, people look up to you, certain ones. There's a responsibility. Get real, everybody. Stop with the bullshit. with their fake online personas. Look at people's Facebook pages. I've lived long enough to see the reality. It's a fantasy. That's what I'm saying. This whole social media, it's just a complete trap. They got us, everybody. They're highlighting the most base aspects of our humanity. Ego, sex, money. It's all wrapped up here. It's a game. It's stupid. Yeah, people say to me, oh, look, this content creator, they have it all together. These people who put their families online, I've lived long enough to see that it doesn't work out. Sorry, guys. Let's just get real, everybody. Let's fucking get real. I'm tired of the bullshit. Why can't I copy my Rumble link? I've been staring at my Rumble page for the last 10 minutes as I've been droning on here, trying to decide if I could play my fucking music. I had all my music for everybody. I had my Smith W music played for all, tagged for all his segments, all my background music for people. Now I got to start all over with that. Thanks, YouTube. I mean, you think YouTube, you want me to be able to present a good show, more people watch, they're on your platform. Like I said, it's an illusion, everybody. There's no profit motive with these companies. They're just part of the system. Look, if you don't understand it yet, I'm going to fucking just sit here and wake you up for a second. If you're operating under the illusion that these social media companies and platforms are under a profit motive, you are sadly mistaken. They don't need the money, they make the money. It's a joke. It's the same way these countries. I'm going to get more in the news lately because, by the way, YouTube, if you don't want me doing sing-alongs, if you don't want me having fun, okay, we'll do it your way. I'll just sit here each morning and expose the lies of your bullshit system. I'll just do that instead. People probably like that more. People think the sing-alongs are a little gay anyway. It's all right. I'll talk about your fake, phony wars, your trumped-up geopolitical nonsense drama. We'll talk about that. I'll do that instead. Anyway, if you guys want to subscribe to my Rumble, it's at Zetetic Warrior on Rumble. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. As I can't even figure out how to copy my link from my page. The joke. It's at Zetetic Warrior on Rumble and on Odyssey. It's ODYSEE. It's at Zetetic Warrior. One word, Zetetic Warrior. You'll find it. Rocky says, play the movie trailer for Wag the Dog. Rocky, I can't play the movie trailer for Wag the Dog because I don't know what YouTube's going to allow me. People play all kinds of shit on YouTube. But apparently if I sing along to Mary Poppins, you're going to fucking strike my channel for a week. Somewhere in time says Z called a Santos rant. No, nobody could rant like I guess you mean Santos Bonacci. Nobody could rant like that motherfucker. But he's Italian like me, so. Somebody saying no copyright on trailers. Okay, that's cool. Appreciate that. See, we're learning. But no, this isn't a Santos rant. I could never rant like Santos. He's one of those Guido Australians. I pointed this out before to all my Australian listeners. There's a bunch of Italians that ended up in Australia, which is weird how that happened. I remember when I was a kid, because I'm a Guido Italian guy, and a bunch of family members came to visit. And they were like, oh, these are your cousins. You're going to meet them for your first time. They're from Australia. I remember being like, wow, this is weird. They're Italian, but they're Australian. And they had this goofy Australian accents, but they looked like me. It was weird. Weird seeing this. We live in a weird world. Fucking crazy. Strange. All right, let's get the show started. I could see who's here. I could read the fucking chat. I'll do my opening without the music. I'll do a cappella, as they say, like I used to do. Yeah, okay, YouTube, you fucked me up this morning, all right? I'll admit it. I'm a creature of habit. I've developed a show here over the months. Now I'm going to have to do all new things. It's all right. I'm going to do it anyway. Let's get the show started. Howdy. Why am I so dark? There we go. A little bit more light. All right, everybody. Acapella style. Official opening commencing now. Good morning, everybody. Grand rising and grand approach. Welcome back to Z Show. That's right. That's my name. Z is short for Zetetic Warrior. Welcome back, and we're broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal realm. It doesn't have quite the same pizzazz without my music. But we'll get there, everybody. We'll get there. Let's see who's here. Random fan came in. First person out of the gates. Much love. Somewhere in time. Good to see you, lovely lady. Phil K. Welcome. Yeah, I wasn't so excited with my new intro music. I just picked something 2 minutes before the show started. Fucking sucks anyway. No, in the house. Quantum Epic, a.k.a. Cadence. She said, Big Z has decided to grace us with his presence again. What a treat. Oh, Quantum Epic. You little so-and-so. Dave O, much love. Mad Mac in the house. Ryan Johnson coming at you. Capricorny. There's Steph Davis. Hola, Sister Hola. Smith W in the house. You gotta love Smith. Nuba, there he is. Vivette coming at us. Yeah. Zionist warrior with an Israeli flag. The Star of Rempram. Nice little play off my name. Much love, Zionist warrior. Much love, much love, much love. Heidi, Divine Spirit 313, coming at you. Freedom Grower. Good to see you, Mr. Freedom Grower. Welcome. Who else is here? I feel naked without my music. This is weird, guys. I'm going to have to spend some time to get new music. I can't do this without music. Three Fingers, much love in the house. Zionist Warrior says, make Israel great again. Are we going to go down that line? I'm thinking about bringing back my news segment, like I was saying earlier. I used to end all my shows with a news segment. I may do that again. I don't know. I got a little something inside me that I'm feeling a little like that. Like I didn't want to talk about you weird matrix, mind matrix, demonic fucking Luciferian system that you have created. I don't really love watching the news, reading the news, but I may have to do that for this channel. People want to hear the news. I'm like, all right, I do a daily show. I should probably be topical. So I'm probably going to bring back the news segment at the end of the show, especially now. I mean, everybody's going crazy. Oh, is this it? Is this it? Israel, Iran, the U.S., Russia, Are the dominoes ready to fall? I don't know. I'm not going to fearmonger here. If you ask me, the dominoes have been ready to fall for a long time. But just remember, when the dominoes fall, it's usually because they tip them over. Right? So if somebody's stacking up the dominoes and then knocking them over, what does that say? Gary Baxter, much love. Joe Moore coming at you. Mental Pancakes, good to see you. Big Drink Tea, yeah, coming at you. Shalom, shalom, everybody. There's a Jewish vibe going on today. Don't make me play my Jewish music. Glyph in the house. Buongiorno to you. D'Angelo, that's right. Z's back. Back again. I think I said hi to No. Open your eyes, connect dots. Welcome, welcome. Big Stank. Axis Rat Blood. He said he'll make me music. Cool, Rat Blood. Cool. Dr. Evals. Yeah. The Rebuttal Bar. That's Mr. London, man, of course. London, I was watching your channel, your rebuttal stuff. Do I get into the London stuff? I was watching them behind the scenes. Sometimes I'll just watch people. I won't let them know I'm there. So I was watching the Rebuttal Bar. That's London Man's second channel where he kind of chops it up. It's a little more loosey-goosey than his main channel. I like that, London. You kind of separated like the gossip part of like your, content to like a second channel. It's a good idea. I might take your lead on that one. Check out London Man at the Rebuttal Bar. That's him right there. Jay in the house. Good to see you. Jack's dreaming. Much love, much love. Benton's here. Says Ready Player Z. Are you still listening, Benton? Sometimes Benton swings in, he leaves a comment, and he leaves. What do you think, guys? What do I do with like Benton and OTW? Do I even really want to talk about you guys? Here's the thing. Are we all like going to be involved into this like clusterfuck of like competition, Mr. Benton, Mr. OTW? Do we even fucking care? It's a big metaverse, but yet we're all like kind of around each other in a weird way. I got nothing but love for all you guys. I'm kind of really over all the bullshit. I don't know if you guys are feeling the same thing, but maybe it's just the temperature. Maybe it's the climate that we find ourselves in. This shitstorm that seems to be this fucking existence. I'm kind of done with the petty bullshit, really. So much love to all you guys, you other content creators. If you want to come here, you want to talk to me, my door is always open. But I'm going to be doing the Z thing over here. I'm really kind of over the nonsense. Maybe you guys are feeling the same way. I don't know. But much love. Smith W, it seems like you were worried about me, dude. Which makes me feel like all warm inside. Like in some ironic twist of fate, like Smith W's like my buddy now. Like Smith W and I are like cosmically connected in some weird way. It's strange how things happen. Fucking weird. Joe R in the house. Geo Ptolemy. Our resident geocentrist in the house. In the house. Gigi Abby Lynn. Good to see you. Lovely lady. Look, Benton subscribed to my backup channel. Benton, don't get me started on you. I don't want to go in on Benton. All right, that's enough. I'm not going to sit here and read the fucking chat the whole time. I'm not doing that. Let me take an interlude as I get back into the swing of things. See what I can play here. Yeah, I'm over the bullshit, everybody. Let me just say this. I'm over the bullshit. Like, I'm done with it. I'm not playing these little reindeer games with people anymore. Honestly, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm bored with it now. If any content creator, if you're going to continue to do this, like, I'm just going to like chalk you up on a certain category in my mind. I'm going to consider you insincere at this point. We can't just keep looping for months and years on end. We're just playing into their whole system if we're going to do that. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm fucking not. Where are we here? Let's take a little interlude. Let me regroup. We'll move on to the next thing here. Appreciate you guys being here. What do I want to play? What's YouTube approved? I'm gonna have to get a whole like copyright free list going. And I'll learn over time like what I could play and what I can't. One of you conspiracy theorists out there thought that I sunk my show on purpose last week. And then you called me a Mason. What did you call me? A Mason wizard magus. Which is funny because I had to look up the word magus. So, and then I'm like, oh, it's kind of a compliment. I'm like, a Mason wizard magus. Well, I'm not a Mason, but it kind of would be cool to be a wizard. Certainly would be cool to be a magus. So for those of you who don't know, a magus is like a magi. Like if you remember like the term like the gift of the magi in the Bible, the three wise men. It's apparently like a priestly class, like Persians or something. So hey, I'm a magi, apparently. I'll take it. Let's get a little music going. And I know this is copyright free because this is our good friend Nathan. I'll be back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Much love. Thanks for being here, everybody. We're in this together, folks. Come on, Nathan. That's not it. That's a German yodeling guy. Here he is. I love this song, by the way, Mr. Nathan. It's one of my faves.
Rows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain, they snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions I recall. I really...
I'm going to pause you, Nathan. I just might come on each morning and just sing. We just might do sing-alongs every fucking... What else is there to say, everybody? It's just become a bunch of blah-bitty-blah over and over and over. I'm fucking over it. That's why Nathan has it figured out, Mr. Sanders. It's just a bunch of bullshit, everybody. Everybody thinks they know more than the next person. They have it all figured out. It's just a fucking trap. It's stupid. Hey guys, here's a hint. You don't need their system. You don't need their technology. You don't need anything these fuckers are feeding us. The earth provides everything we need, and it provides it better. We don't need them. We don't need their food. We don't need their medicine. We don't need their money. We don't need their entertainment. We don't need their education. It's fucking all stupid. They tricked us. This earth provides everything that we need. The only thing that we really need is each other. If you have a family, if you have a community, if you have a village, that is all you need. Everything else is provided. It's a trick. They just fucking did us dirty. They just did us all dirty, everybody. That's all it is. Anyway, back to Nathan.
We don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way that you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go, but if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions that I recall. I really don't know love. I really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds. I've looked at life that way. But now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say that I've changed.
Old friends are acting strange. Yes, they are, Mr. Nathan. Because we have changed. They haven't. That's the point. People don't want to see you change. They don't want to see you grow. It threatens them. It highlights their insecurities, their insufficiencies. They're not going to want to really see you thrive. That's the big secret, everybody. It's the ultimate crabs in a bucket syndrome. Nobody really wants to see you do well. No, see, you're projecting. That's you. Okay, you can say what you want. It's scary. Change is scary, but it's necessary. Growth is necessary.
Well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. It's life's illusions that I recall. I really don't know life. I really don't know life at all. Apocalypse Cabaret. I'm your host, Nathan, singing our way through the apocalypse, one song at a time.
That's right, Mr. Nathan. Thank you so much. The incomparable Nathan Sanders. Somebody's asking for the link. Let me see if I can pull it. Our friend Rocky's asking for the link. I'm going to try to pull it up for you, Rocky. Of course I'm going to pull it up for you if I can fucking find it. Where are you, Mr. Nathan Sanders? There you are. I'm getting it for you there, Rock. All right, links in the chat for Mr. Nathan Sanders' channel. Go check him out. And that's his Apocalypse Cabaret. Because Nathan says it's the apocalypse, and he just wants to sing. Hey, the apocalypse. Whatever that means. It kind of seems like the apocalypse. What does that even mean? Revelation? To reveal? We all have this idea of this preconditioned, indoctrinated idea of what the apocalypse is, what's it going to be, what's it going to look like, fire and brimstone, the skies falling, floods, volcanoes, famine. Okay, maybe. Who knows? We have to stop assuming things. Who knows what it is, what it's going to look like. It could just be like what we see now. Just a bunch of people becoming drone-like NPC creatures, running a program, automatons. Come on, these people aren't thinking for themselves. They're just running a script. You can't even get mad at them. Yeah, like Baxter says here, Gary Baxter, the unveiling. Or like Jeebus Crisp says, maybe it's just all BS. Stop assuming things. Hey, listen, you're not that smart. You're not that smart, everybody. Like, you may be smarter than the average bear, if you're listening to me. Like, you may be. You may be highly intelligent, but don't think you're so smart you have it all fucking figured out. It's stupid to think so. I'm tired of it. You're not as smart as you think you are, likely. Well, you're projecting again. Maybe I am. I got some guests in the back. Let's bring some guests up this morning. Let me chop it up with some people. Be plenty of time to do my canned little segments. I was going to do a segment this morning about the sun. I'll save it for tomorrow. I invited guests up, and I'd like to talk to them. What the fuck? It's from Nachiketa. Good to see you, good sir. How's it going?
Whoop. Hello. Can you hear me? Very well. How are you doing? How was your break away from the internet?
Hey, Notch. How's it going, man? It's pretty good, dude. I had mixed feelings about it. Like, part of me was going crazy, and then I couldn't figure out. I'm like, am I going crazy because I'm like withdrawing, or am I going crazy because like the internet's crazy? I'm involved in this weird experience that that I'm probably not even really prepared for, but I'm undertaking anyway. And then I kind of figured it out. Now I'm like, oh, it's probably because I'm used to running my mouth each morning, and that was taken away from me. Because now, like, I already feel better to come on here and kind of do my thing, and I'm having like a this love-hate relationship with this technology, and but Notch, I've had a love-hate relationship with almost everything I've ever endeavored in my life, whether it was school, professions, jobs. I don't know. Maybe that's just a rub of life. It's like trying to reconcile maybe these opposing feelings that we may have, right? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, dude?
Yeah, I mean that's what makes life interesting. The opposing feelings and ideas. The paradoxes and the bittersweetness of what life provides. So you can't have it all good thing. We like tragedies a little bit. We like suffering a little bit. But with that, pleasure and joy and happiness comes, mixed with it. So yeah, it's bittersweet. Um, Good to find that balance. Moderate. But I just think it's, I don't know, like I think the whole world is insane. So I don't think you should feel isolated in the sense of like going crazy. This is a little abode that you have created for yourself. So it's a place where you can be yourself and express yourself as you want, and that's what you've created. So it's a kind of an outlet, and I think that's a healthy thing.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to keep it in a healthy place. Because what I want to do is be in control of my own emotions and thoughts and stuff like that. And a lot of that is reconciling certain um, realities of the experience here on the metaverse, right? The reality that there's always going to be kind of haters, kind of backbiters. The reality that one can't control other people's responses, reactions, their speech. And why should I want to? And a lot of it's just realizing sort of the positive sides of it. The people that are co-creators here. And that's really what it is. For me, it's about kind of framing it in a way where, I can make the experience like more of a positive one and less negative. Again, I'm realizing it just really comes down to me, like anything. I control this as much or as little as I want. I don't have to open myself up to anybody. I don't have to close myself off to anybody. I can experience it for what it is, take it or leave it. And, I'm going to kind of approach it like that, Notch. Let me let up some other people. I don't want to keep too many people in the back.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm like, Notch, part of me just wants to like fire off this morning. Like part of me just wants to go on a spur for like 2
Do
hours.
it.
But, I want to rein it in a little bit. I just don't want to like spurg out all over the fucking audience, But part of me just wants to just go on some insane rant for like an hour. But I don't know. But there's an instinct to rein it back in. That's why it's good to have guests up here. Let's welcome Freedom Grower. Dick's been
Yep.
pretty active lately, dude. I've been sensing Dick is kind of like, getting back in the stage where he's fucking very expressive lately. What's up, Dick? Welcome back to the stream.
What's up,
Much
Dick?
love.
Yo, I apologize. I'll be right back. I have to run outside, but I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Go ahead, Mr. Freedom Grower. No rush, no rush. I'll just sit here and vomit all over everybody, all my deep, dark thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that like everything you're saying is correct, and you're gonna have all kinds of people here, and the truth of the matter is, a lot of people, they don't have. What are they invested in? Like, you can create a soccer account, you can create 10 soccer accounts, and you can say whatever the fuck you want here, and where's the repercussion? There's no repercussion. It's not reality in real physical life. If you say the things to another man that some of the people say, like, you're gonna get punched, you might even get killed. So like, I think it's a great place to practice, like, quote unquote stoicism, right? You have to control yourself at the end of the day, and you cannot allow anybody to get at you. I think that's the kind of a place that we have generated, and at the same time understand who is important for every individual. You're gonna be closer to some individuals compared to other people, and understand what they say is valuable, and that's kind of a discernment process to me.
Yeah, man. Awesome, Notch. Notch always brings it. It's one of the things about Notch Akeda, man. You're like on point all the time. I was listening to you on Mr. Talcott's channel last night.
Oh boy.
You were kind of giving it to Jack a little bit. Let's talk about it. It's almost like Jack was doing his Jack thing, and you were almost, to me, as I was listening, kind of acting as like the counterpoint to the Talcottian one. Do you care to talk about that, or?
Yeah, I mean, like, no, it's I'm okay to talk about it. Like, me, I'm not really here to belittle or degrade people, and I have respect for Jack. If I didn't have respect for Jack, I wouldn't have gone on to his panel. But let's face it, let's just be real. We have a lot of people who are within the quote unquote community who fit in the cluster B type, personality types. And I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like remove myself from it either. I think I have some, like, probably borderline personality disorder type of stuff that's going on. I don't really hold narcissism against people. Like, I do think that people have, like, experienced trauma of some kind, and they just express it in different ways. Now, that being said, I'm very, like, logical minded. I do a lot to just, like, remove my emotions from these discussions. It's just the way I conduct myself, and I'm not usually there to, like, attack people, but I do see some inconsistencies, or how do I say, like, inaccuracies in people's way of thinking, and I try to point that out. And I think Jack might have taken some of the things I've said kind of personally. At least.
Well, here's the thing to jump off on that, Notch. To me, I've taken a whole new perspective on personality disorder, narcissism. As time goes on, I'm discovering more and more. I'm understanding a bit about the people that display these characteristics. To me, it's a defense mechanism. It's sort of a psychological phenomenon where people develop these traits, these characteristics, in response to, as you said, trauma. They're responding to deep-seated trauma. The trauma then gets expressed in certain ways. People internalize and then project. We give it names: personality disorder, cluster B, narcissism, et cetera, but in the end, these are just responses. They're adaptive in a way. Some people would say they're maladaptive. But to me, they're just a response. It's sort of like the human psyche develops a way to cope with intense trauma. But I do think there's tendencies to label people, narcissist, sociopath. I've done it. People have levied it against me. We almost get into a point where everyone just kind of in a circle pointing at each other, calling themselves narcissists at some point. And then it just kind of loses all meaning, right? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, you can't just end there. Like, if you find somebody whom you cannot have a communication with, like any kind of communication with, then you just have to cut off like all communication with that individual, because there's you know the patterns that are involved with it. But if you do kind of believe that, you know, something could be productive in terms of like development of myself or the other, etc., then you know, understanding these concepts, let's say these disorders we call it, you know, then working around it is going to be beneficial. But like, I don't think there's anything wrong per se to label things. But I think where things get where things go wrong is that's where we end. Somebody's a narcissist and that's it. You know, like I don't really want to do that myself. Go ahead.
Right. Well, not just easy to label
This is
people.
fucking ridiculous. I'm not a narcissist. Stop calling me a fucking narcissist.
Dick in the house. There's a new Dick sock account. I think it's a Fraudum Grower. Somebody, they're on to you now, Dick. You have your own sock accounts being made, so you know you've made it. But yeah, Notch, there's a tendency to label people. You put people in a box. You know why? Because it kind of, you know, it kind of minimizes people, minimalizes them, and it kind of puts others in a superior position. So it's easy to label people. There's labels fucking everywhere. Let's talk to Morgan. Morgan, Good to see you. Morgan, I need to talk to you because I'm feeling a little like naked this morning, because I have like music and I have like certain things that I usually do. Like when Morgan comes up, I play his music and stuff. But YouTube's coming down on me, and no longer are they just going to let me willy-nilly like just play these copyrighted bullshit things. So Morgan, how would you recommend that I deal with this feeling that I have where I'm like, you know, I'm kind of like feeling a little OCD. I'm feeling a little disjointed because I don't have my, you know, my little toys to play with. Where do I go, dude?
Yes. Well, I think that you reached out correct. You said to the man who plays the music, you know, would you like to come up? Right. And, you know, I would. And I did. So, I mean, did you want me to try and like play something? Or?
Well, do whatever you want, Morgan. We'll do a free form this morning. How's that? Feel free to add a little ambience.
I'm gonna play a little blues. Maybe I'm gonna give you maybe 30 seconds, and then we'll stop rather than continue on. Right? So let's
go ahead, give it to us, Morgan. You know,
though, that was cool what you were grooving there. It sounded
okay.
almost like I was gonna hear bagpipes or something come in there.
Okay. Well, for freedom, let me get it so you can see it here. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. All right. Oh, look at that.
It's a bit of a finger stretch. The ladies like that when they see you can work your fingers like that, Morgan. Those long stretches.
Nice, Morgan. We'll let Morgan keep playing if he wants.
It's good stuff. It sounds nice.
It is good, Dick. Dick, you've been active lately, dude. Is there something inside of you that just wants to just fucking talk, speak? Things seem like they're getting crazy, Dick. Are you buying into the whole fucking... thank you, Morgan. Much love. Dick, are you buying into the whole, the shit's about to hit the fucking fan narrative? I don't like to buy into it, dude, but I'm just wondering, you know, what the temperature is, man. How many times are they going to recycle this fucking same thing over and over again, dude? Where are we with this, dude?
Yeah, we're already on the descent. So, I mean, it's not like things are going in a great direction with economics and governing of your mental and all the poly tricks and this nonsense. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's all roses and, butterflies, but it is definitely the same old fucking nonsense regurgitating the same bullshit. So we'll continue to watch the insanity Ask Clown Gong show go on. As far as my own passions and reason for speaking, I just go through different phases like that where I really feel like there's certain points I want to make. In particular, all the discussions of rights and freedoms. It's really become like crystal clear to me now that, I mean, voluntarism is the only suitable, respectful type of response towards loving your brother as you would yourself and creating a society that actually has autonomy. Because if people don't want to participate, you're forcing your system on them, and what man has a right to do that to someone else? So I feel like I'm getting better at articulating that, and it is a part of my passion and why I'm here to speak, because I want to be on the right side of history, and I definitely want to leave that account and record, aside from all the jokes and comedy and everything else. But I think people overcomplicate this stuff. If, people talk about limited government, all these different ideas, dude, if you are going to force your shit on somebody else and they're not doing anything to harm anyone or, creating any kind of difficulty for anyone else, you're just a tyrannical, oppressive, power hungry piece of shit. And the masses don't see that, Z. They really fucking don't. When you talk to the average Joe going down the street or your family member or even people on here, like 95% of people, it seems they genuinely don't get that. So I'm going to lean more on that part of the conversation because I really see it clearly from my vantage point, and I think it's a position that's above reproach. Like, you really can't push back against it logically unless you just want to say, I want the power, or I'm going to give it to this person because I say so.
Right. I see what you're saying. Well, you know what it is? People accept the reality that's presented to them. You're presented with a reality that assumes the authority of the state. It assumes the authority of government. Who said? By what authority?
And guess
Who
what?
says?
They indoctrinated you into it before the age of consent. They gave you your Social Security before the age of consent. So, who's culpable in the deception and the
And gentlemen, you were
Anyway.
being the principal, being the son of the principle of the thing that you're speaking of right now. I can tell you that we were told to obey. We were not told to make a decision for ourselves when we were children, especially Freedom and Zed and I being children of the 80s. We were told in school to do what you are told. To talk back or give a question after that is to ask to be struck, like physically struck. You are to take the instruction and obey. That's what we were taught. You didn't move forward unless you showed that you understood that. And that's
I look at
go ahead.
I look at it like this. In the end, it really comes down to power.
Oh yeah.
It's might makes right in this realm, because there may be an objective truth. People could say, look, there's right and wrong and things exist in the abstract, and you could point to them. But in this materialistic world, this world of subjectivity, we find that concepts of right and wrong seem to be defined less on morality and more on the power dynamics of the ruling class. Things are right because we say they're right. Things are right because we have a bigger stick than you have. That's why they're right.
That's called old school, Z. That's old school.
Which
Right.
is difficult to argue with, because we would like these ideals, these flowery, dressed up principles where we hold up things like morality, integrity, principles. We'd like to think that this realm could be governed by those things. But in the end, it just may be about power. Power may be the authority. What gives somebody authority? Power. Maybe that's what it is.
That's right. That's right. Like Z, when God tells me, Morgan, if you slow down your message and speak properly, dressed half decent, every word you say is going to be listened to. If you come out and you are exuberant and eccentric, then that eccentricity will go right into people listening, and you won't get listened to no matter what you do. And it works. And it works. So understanding how power works, or how it's adapted, how power is adapted to different people and how to use it. I guess that's just, I'm not really sure what's my point on that, but I mean, no, because we're just speaking of power itself. I feel I know a lot about power, man, and a lot about how it works. And you're absolutely right about the point you're talking about how it rules. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Absolute power rules, absolutely.
And then there's also that fundamental truth that the power is in the free will, right? Because you can have some oppressor that says, dance like a monkey, and you say, I won't. And he says, well, I'll kill you and everything you love, and I'll destroy this whole fucking realm right in front of you right now if you don't dance like a motherfucking monkey. And you sit there and say, go ahead.
That's old school. That's old school. That's old school. Like when you're standing in the room, people need to understand, and all of a sudden they get nervous at first. And when they realize it, sometimes they go a bit kooky, and you have to restrain them. I've actually been in that situation where someone in the room realized, wait, that guy's not in charge. Morgan is, because he's the strongest, the biggest. Oh, crap. And they got upset and tried to attack me, and other people had to stop them because they realized that I was in charge. They're like, he's in charge. He's the man right now. And the person couldn't stand it.
Morgan, let's check. I always wanted to know stuff about you, Morgan, dude.
Yeah.
You were a childhood star, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So if I look up right now, can I find you? Like, what were you on? Like a Canadian?
Ontario.
What were you on? Like Canadian, like local fucking? Like what?
Yes.
So
it's really so it's like super hard to find because it's local papers. It's school plays. But it's television. Like we're talking about, like from the age of 3.5. I remember rushing home to make sure that we could caught it on TV. And this is back when like you're all sitting around.
Morgan, did they like Monarch program your ass?
Yes.
Did you got Monarch? Yes. You're one of these MK Ultra Monarch program fucking people.
Yes,
Dick, I've been kind of putting the pieces together about Morgan through the months now that we've known him, and I'm like, he just got like, he's what we hear about this fucking trauma-based mind control shit they do on kids.
Yeah.
Morgan, people don't realize that about you, dude.
Mom watched over the acid. You know what I mean? Like the acid, like I remember it's being in the parking lot, not too far away from here, right in the library parking lot. And Mom was like, all right, so I just need to do the check on the substances. And it's like, Mom, it's like about, I get about gram of like personal smoke, about a gram of marijuana on the weekends with friends. And we're into the acid, you know what I mean? Like the lysergic, I knew that she was a genius. So there wasn't any like, oh, this and that. Like she used to take me to the appointments for the doctor in London, and we would go, like, meaning for the appointments to go to the doctors in the white coats, and then you go in and you do the mazes and the puzzle. They put one after another, and you're like, they're successive, and you're like, wait, you mean, yeah, you start out with mazes and they get more elaborate, super elaborate. And
So wait a second, Morgan, hold on. This is like a fucking movie. So they were flying your ass to London as a kid and putting you through like these intelligence tests and things like that
yes,
as they were dosing you with LSD
different medications, yes.
and amphetamines, right? They had you on amphetamines at a very early age, right?
That's the thing. More amphetamines than anything else. Like that. That was a bit later on. Like the first things we're talking about 4 and 5, right? So now, and like what you see in the movies at 11, like you're a little child and you're hooked up to the things, right, on your head, and you're sitting in a lab with the people and you're doing the things on the table with the squares and like put together the blocks in the pattern. And the thing is, they do the thing, they get all excited, right? They look at their charts and they come back and it's like, and the thing is, all the little things, like I was able to sit in the room before the one guy started the timer. Now, I don't think their controls on certain things were as tight as they thought, because I had gotten a good 30-second looks in the thing while I walked in the room, while I sat down. And you know what I mean? Just things like that. And then he put the thing over top of it. And I'm like, and he's like, okay, I'm going to time you on this. And I remember, like, it's like, I've already seen it. And, you know, it's like when I walked in the room, but I didn't bother telling him. So he takes the thing off, hit the stopwatch. I put together the thing. It was just brackets with nuts on it. Like, and they had like the 10 different types of nuts on the piece of paper. And I mean, I don't know if they thought I would, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm being serious with you. So the thing is, all I had to do was pick up the nuts, like pick up the nut, like on two ends, it's threaded, and then pick up the proper threading, you know, on the thing and put the nuts on. So I did it in the proper order on each side. And then the thing is, he goes, okay. And he's like, shit, you did that in like under 30 seconds. It took me like 24, 25. And I'm, yeah. He's like, that's not even a possible, because that's not even, he called in, he goes, I don't even have that to write on a piece of paper. And he goes, what do you mean? I have 30 seconds or more? You know what I mean? Like 6, you know what I mean? To choose for how long it takes you to do the thing. And you know what I mean? It's just weird. They call the guy in. He did it quicker than we have a thing for to respond. And
Morgan, that's so weird. Hold on a second, Morgan. Let's take a little musical interlude. We'll come back to Morgan. Morgan's laying on some heavy stuff. Because I know Morgan was like one of these kids who went through this fucking trauma and stuff. Hang in there, Morgan.
It's normal for like, you know, families coming from a certain bloodlines or status or you know, positions where, you know, the kids are tested and they have to be tested for their aptitude to see, you know, what their future is going to be and how they're going to play a role in their society.
Well, I know Morgan had like a Masonic fucking family and shit, you know. So I want to get into it.
I was gonna say, man, I bet you it's all that and a lot more. I mean,
it's fucking deep, Dick.
He's probably not even willing to talk about, and it fucking
right
sends like weird spidey fucking senses up your spine. You know, it's just like freaky.
Yeah,
they'll just take your fucking family and, you know, rat test them.
This whole reality's whack. I want people to start to fucking deprogram. Guys, deprogram it yourselves. You've been programmed, everybody. You accept a reality that was presented to you that is false, engineered, indoctrinated. It's stupid. It's dumb. Let's take a musical interlude. Let's cleanse the palate. Nathan, take it away, good sir. Please.
This is for Anne-Marie in Beverly Hills. By request. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you.
Feel free to sing along at home, everybody.
Birds singing in the sycamore trees. Dream a little dream of me.
That's right. I'll fucking sing all morning, guys.
Say nighty night and kiss
That's
me.
right, Uncle Rick. You're gonna love it.
Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream
A little
dream
dream of me. Dick's got it.
Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you.
That's right, Nathan.
Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you.
Ask me if I give a fuck,
But
everybody.
in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me.
Reminds me of my grandpa. Dude. He used to do
my
that all the
former
time, growing up,
roommate.
singing these type of songs.
Well, that's the thing about Nathan.
An
He's
amazing person.
He's the
a
uncle that
survivor.
we all should have had.
And an incredible soul, a beautiful spirit on earth.
Yeah, that was my grandpa. He would just walk down the house singing like
but
this all the
I
time.
linger
The record on and
dear.
belt it out.
Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeam.
You know what's interesting, Dick, about music and melody is you don't have to think about melody. It's fucking like an instinct. It's almost like there's certain melodies that aren't created. They're just almost pulled from the ether. It's so fucking strange how that works to me. How like you could almost like predict the next note of certain songs. Like I'll listen to songs on the radio, especially really catchy ones. Like I was in a car the other day and it was like just a random channel was on. It was a bunch of like Taylor Swift songs. I had never heard the song before. It's like you almost know the fucking melody before you hear it. How's that even possible?
The notes are meant to go together. It's also a tribal part of us where we can reset the frequency with music. And if you look at the natives and why they would pound the drums and just how they could change their state, go into the altered states along with the plant medicines. But you see even right there, at least I did, I noticed it. Like you start singing that organic energy, it will shift your own frequency, which is a great thing. I mean, you always have that tool right there. You can just start singing and get that fucking positive vibes going. And, it's in you.
Right. People, you have to understand something about how sound works and music. When you look at chords and you look at music, it's really all based off of your vocal folds, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, like that whole thing. Our voices naturally do that. We have intonation and melody through our voice, our vocal tone. It's
like a sequence unfolding, right? Like the Fibonacci sequence or whatever. It's
right,
got
exactly.
a predictable type of tendency to it.
Well, exactly. Intonation is part of communication. When you look at speech or communication in general, there's things called the suprasegmental aspects of speech. So above and beyond the words themselves, there's the intonation, the melody. There's the prosody of speech. That's why text messaging emojis developed. You shoot somebody a text message, you say something, you write something, but the expression is often conveyed mainly in the intonation. That's why we have these emojis, these facial expressions that are meant to represent the tone that's not expressed. It's very strange how most of speech, most of communication is done beyond the words, and how music is involved in that. We can go on. Let's get back to Morgan, because I want to focus on Morgan this morning because I've been thinking about him lately. Because I've been going through like some of my old content as I was backing up my stuff over the last week, and I was looking at some old Morgan stuff, and I think there's so much more to Morgan that meets the eye. Dick, you remember the guy came up and tried to tell us that Morgan's like demon possessed, so we shouldn't talk to him? Do you remember that fucking clown?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So again, like we were saying about labels, we could just easily label Morgan. Oh, Morgan's this, Morgan's that. Well, why don't we just maybe talk to Morgan and find out about, a little bit more who he is really, so we just don't label people. But I have this impression that Morgan's like one of these MK Ultra fucking people, in a way.
Yeah. You see what he's gone through, and then that guy wants to come in and cast aspersions, cast his stones. Obviously, he's carrying that demon of condemning judgment, where he doesn't even want to let another man speak because he's so triggered by Morgan's energy and his journey and who he is. And Morgan's, he's got an amazing just spirit and force of energy in him. It's a fucking incredible force and beautiful. And his theatrical artistic side is very cool. So I'm always compelled to talk to Morgan and see what he's up to.
Yeah, if I may, real quick, when I was in Clubhouse and I met this lady who was from a very prominent Illuminati family, and she was on the run actually, and these families are in search for her because she was groomed to work in the White House, according to what she said. But at least from my assessment, I did find her to be very intelligent, and she can remember the Bible very well. But she did mention that with a lot of these rituals and SRAs, right, that basically what they are trying to do is that they do want to bring demonic possessions into the vehicle, okay, and they could have multiple demons within the individual. So I'm not saying that anybody here is demon possessed, but according to her, there is a process to get the demons out, and you have to really, it's a long process. It doesn't just happen over like a year period. It's because there's a lot that is involved in the programming. So just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no doubt. I can make an argument that everybody is kind of run by demons. You could even look at your own thoughts, where they come from, where they originate. When everybody really question that.
You have to fight the good fight is fighting them.
Well, for me, Morgan, it's the realization that you are not your thoughts. One's mental, psychological, emotional experience is not them. So discriminating one's self from the internal experience, developing ways to become a passive observer of one's self, and realizing that what you define as your identity is very likely not yours and was most likely created for you by those who likely serve to benefit. But Morgan, let me ask you, your experience as a kid, right? You don't have to get into the nitty gritty. We don't need to make...
I'd rather have you direct questions and have me just pick a point from any point in the void and just begin speaking.
Here's what I want to ask you. When you were experiencing certain things as a child, what prevented you from, let's say, speaking up? Because people will often ask, even me, I'll wonder, like, what stops a kid from,
they take care of that. Meaning, that's like a very good question. Okay, and the thing is, I'm going to speak slowly so that I don't just start and then have to put it together. All right, I've got it. the mazes. Now, in the time period of 1980s, a child's relationship with their parents and those around them, and the ability for that to be kept, say, private, and how much of that would be controlled. Say if a child did something, how much would the state or the police come in and say, we're going to take care of this? If you were under the age of 18, you would, like, sometimes you would hear the famous story of your child was shooting a bow and arrow. Oh, this is from Anchorman, into a crowd of people. But it was in a parade. I'm sure you all remember that joke from Anchorman. Okay, when that joke was said at Anchorman, my brain went bling, because that's the perfect example of my life, or other MK Ultra people's lives, because when they pop off, one of the soldiers or something, right, under the age of 16, who's on, he was on a thing called acid. When I started telling you about Anchorman, that example, I had forgotten the part about that the child was on acid. So now it relates right back into what I was saying. But that's what I'm talking about. When I began speaking about that example that I just started speaking about, I forgot that the other part where the guy goes, my son was apparently on something called acid and firing a crossbow into an oncoming parade. And the thing, how come the dad's getting the call? How come it's not just in police hands and he's just getting the call to go to the station or this? Because his dad's a Mason. His dad, so they call his dad at the TV station where he works. Hello, we have your son here, sir. Would you like to come and get him? Because he's your son. Nothing's happening to him, sir, other than we have him here safe. I mean, some other people are hurt, but that's for those people whose job is to take care of that. Our job is to get you back your son safe, sir. That's for you to do, whatever it is that you do. And we don't want to have any part of that, sir. Please, no, we've got your son safe. You know what I'm saying, right? They don't want to have any part of what's going to happen to that child when he gets home with his dad, because that's the scary thing. So they just leave it at that. That makes sense, right? Or
Yeah.
okay, right. Because you all remember the stories of the acid children, right? And that they do weird shit and they go nuts. And how come they don't disappear? Because they weren't in public anyway. They were under the care of their guardian or their parents, their handlers. Now, considering that, if one of us tries to tell anyone, anywhere, a call immediately goes to the red telephone. Bling, bling. He just said this. Boom, get him. Like and it's like, what did you just scare that woman with? And you're like, wait, they don't even say it any different way. No, that's how it will only be addressed as. How could you scare that woman with such a story, son? like, you know, and here's the thing. Here comes the principal of the private Christian school in a town, and you might think, oh, well, okay, but I mean, give us a reason why the person might back away, thinking, what was this man? Because my family, like the family, when the
So
Queen,
Morgan, it sounds like the
England did come,
ultimate.
she came and met my family and me and my dad personally and shook our hands, so other people know that's that man and his son.
Right. So Morgan, it seems like they're gaslighting these children. So what you do is when the child tries to come clean and tell the truth, you basically tell the child that they're crazy. You know,
Yeah.
you're basically you present a situation where you're denying that kid's reality, which creates more of a split, because you're basically telling that kid that the reality that they're perceiving is not true. So the authority figures, which basically substitute as God in a child's life because they have ultimate control over you, when they're telling you that the reality that you're experiencing is not real,
yes,
it helps create that split, because then the child starts to question himself. Wow, that kind of seemed like it was real, but they're telling me it didn't happen. So what does that
Well,
mean? Was
it's
there something
hopeless.
wrong
It's
with me?
learned. It's a learned hopelessness that they get conditioned into a position where they don't have any help from anybody. They cannot turn to anybody. It compartmentalizes them. That society is not there to help, and any direction that they go, that line, it goes directly to the handlers out there. So yeah, they're entrapped.
Thank you for not lying about it. Thank you for thank you for using your intelligence to speak about it properly and not coding it because I'm right here. Thank you. Because like it makes it so much harder when people play around with it. You know what I mean? It's like it needs to be said directly. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. The information goes right to your handlers. Right to your handlers. And it gets handled in a way where they've already taken care of most of it before that moment already, meaning with pre-things like whatever it is, they have it handled with, well, he's got this, or there's a this, or like no matter what it is, that they have something that will make sure that it's nothing that could even go on the books if people wanted it to because of a certain thing. And the amazing thing is when you live in that world, you realize that, well, there's not even really a book unless we say there is for things to go into anyway. So what we're doing is we're keeping it off the books, at least the books that are public. And it stays in this other book that never gets open for the public ever. It's interesting, but it exists. It's just the other book. Like, when people say we've got two ledgers, oh yeah, everybody does. Well, this is the second ledger. That made sense. This is a second ledger issue, meaning
Yeah.
a record of it. It's just not one that anybody else is going to see. It's just for us and other people that are in it. And other people know that's not for you to look at anyway. And when you're in an organization like police or something else with structure, when you're told, oh, by the way, if you don't have a this on your arm, you don't have that jurisdiction, and it's nothing that's your business. And you get what I'm saying, right? And it gets you when doing it a certain way gets rewarded by your peers, a certain behavior, even if it's something benign, like not that. Why would it mean anything? Like, why would it's nothing that anybody's paying that much attention to. So when other people are like, oh, hey, right on. I noticed you just handed that book in. You didn't even open it up. That was exactly what you're supposed to do. Good on you. In fact, you're getting promoted for that. Oh, really? Right on. When you just have an air of whatever around people not looking in the one books, it's like, wow, that's a really commendable thing. We never do that. Never do that. It's honorable not to. And people trust you more. It's like, I don't care what's in those books. All I know is you go higher if you don't look. And believe me, it
Yep.
works. It works.
Yeah, of
Because
course it works.
important. This is important. It's like, how is he? He knows how to keep his mouth shut. That will take you far in the occult. What would you say about him if I asked you one word? Silent. I like it. Good word. Good word. Okay, I'll work with that.
Discreet.
Yeah. Discreet. Good as well. I like that. That's what they like. If you like, even covert, not as much, but it works. You know what I mean? Clandestine to a certain extent. Invisible. I like that. Clean.
Morgan, I want to ask you this question. So the realities of these type of things. When you identify maybe another child who's experiencing this type of situation, how do you reconcile the feelings inside of you? I could imagine that it evokes great emotion inside of you, maybe feelings of, retribution, the feeling of wanting to enact some type of justice. How do you handle it, man?
Like, so many aren't here.
Is it really just about faith? Is it really just about turning your will over to a higher power?
So many. Like, I think it's because if you're listening, like, I mean, not if you're listening, I know you're listening. It's just that I'm about to say words that are like really important, and like it's not going to be long. It's going to be short. Those words need to be paid attention to. Okay. When you recruit, you recruit white male children who are predominant and from a family like that already is Masonic and or Masonic and has in it the element of, is Jesus Christ Lord? Yes. Meaning, do you believe that he is, like, I suppose you might say, like, coming back or a second coming? Just, and the thing is, they include just meaning, do you believe that he is good, that the world is going to be like destroyed by God and then he shall reign? I mean, so they split it up. So even if like you're a person who doesn't believe in the Trinity, they're like, right, but we don't want to know if you don't believe in the Trinity. They want, you must be a person of faith, so that they already have the pre-consent of, we know you're ready to die for your God, if that's what's asked of you by him, and that's actually what life is. You're asked, so that the point of life is to give your life for your God, and if that's there, you're good to go. Because it's got to be there. Like, so every person, every one of these children is one that they know. It's not just, meaning you passed the thing. Like if you put your fingers in the thing, like, which is also the things on the head. Like don't worry, those are also lie detectors. Meaning they're reading that. You know what I'm saying? How much of what he's saying does he believe to be true? So they know whether you believe what you're saying to be true. And if you believe, when they ask you when you're 4 and 3 years old, like, do you believe in a God? Do you believe in your eternal end soul? So do you believe that if we killed you, you will continue to live? Or you can't even be killed? You know what I mean? All these questions. And the thing is, when they get the answers of, I believe I'm immortal, you know what I mean? I believe I'm a living being forever, right? I believe in the supernatural. All of those things, you are a go. You're green lighted. He's a go. He's a go. He's a go. Because they need that element in there, absolutely, for sure. The fact that you are a believer. They want believers. I think it's for the ability to die like that, and because they, to make an assassin, like if you can build an assassin who's actually a little bit more pro of, if I die and go to bonus land, they want those ones, the ones that say, well, the plane is going down. Really? Right on. We're going to the Lord. We're going to the Lord. Like, they want that type of a person who will bring out the guitar and have the sing song as the plane goes down, because they're on it with the rest of their youth group, right? And then when you think about it, you're like, wait, I do know some people like that, especially among the Mormons. Pull out the guitar. We're going to be 612. Hokely dookly dookly doo. I just wish there were one more egg carton to do another art project with before we smash into the side of the mountain. Oh, precious little time now. Precious little time. Okay, so just saying, they want all soldiers that are ready to die. And in fact, they're like, are you actually cool with it? Yes, absolutely. So they need that from the time that you're a kid. You have no fear of death. And
Interesting, Morgan. I get it. I get what you're saying, man.
okay, cool. I just wanted to make it really clear, which is why I was like, I just want you to understand that definitely a part of it is, we need this person's life. Like, they got to be expendable. They got to be ready to expend. They got to be ready to expend. And
Well, you're a pawn. I mean, like, not you, but like the people who are a part of the programming, you're a pawn. I mean, like, and they have their idea of how things are going to be. And, in a game of chess, you should be willing to sacrifice your queen, your knight, as long as you win the game. You should be willing to sacrifice any and all things, and there's a human cost to things, but you have to be really impersonal, or, you have to be detached from this humanistic side of things.
They want detachment. Thank you, brother. With the name. detachment. They want to know that you can stay with that detachment and work in that detachment. Within the detachment, can you operate within that detachment? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, the detachment. That's the psychopathy, because it's kind of like you get somebody to split their personality, and you get them to act in ways that are often atrocious, immoral, and otherwise, because people can segment that. Let's just look at just average society. You know, doctors, police officers. Oftentimes you could wonder, how can people behave the way they do? And I think the trick is you get people to identify with a persona. So they're no longer Morgan or Z or Notch or Dick. They're, they're the persona. They're Dr. Z, right?
Yes.
They're police officer Jim.
Oh, your secret undercover.
They're alters.
Right.
Yeah,
Alters.
got it.
So then you're now behaving through the persona. You're not really yourself. You're an agent at that point.
The agent. Good soldier. Yes, you're the agent.
So now you're acting through the mask, through the persona. And then people then can justify it, because I will often wonder, how do people sleep at night? It's because they're able to separate their actions from themselves, which is an illusion. It's a trick. It's just you, really. There's no doctor you. There's no officer you. It's just you. Whether you're wearing a costume, a mask, or otherwise, it's still your actions. You're still really responsible for them at the end of the day. That's the trick. All right, panel, much love, everybody. I'm going to do a hard cut because I'm going to move on. Love you guys. Dick, love you. Notch, love you. Morgan, you're a fucking legend, dude. I'll talk to you later. We're going to move on because I want to start doing the news here, guys. Because like I said, if you're not going to let Z do a sing-alongs, if you're not going to let Z have a good time here, well, you're just going to have Z come on here and just fucking expose all your fucking bullshit, everybody. People seem to like that better. Some people think the sing-alongs are a little gay. Fine, think they're gay. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I think the news is gay. How's that? That's what I'm saying. Smith W's asking me if I'm going to do my moment of Zen with Smith W. We'll get it going again, Smith. I'm a little disjointed, everybody. YouTube's not allowing me to do my normal thing. So, we're kind of making it happen anyway. Let me read the news to you guys. Let's see what they're talking about in the stupid news. Do I want to turn my camera on? Probably not, because you'll just see me reading. Maybe I should bring up the fucking topics. Maybe I'll show you guys what I'm reading here. Hold on. Present. I used to do a news segment all the time in my shows. I'm bringing it back. Because I kind of do think we're moving into a certain time. Like I said, not fear-mongering everybody, but my spidey senses are up. Everybody. I kind of think they're kicking us into their next stage here with all their bullshit. What are you saying, Heidi and Cadence? Cadence just fucking wants me to have my camera on. What's the deal, Cadence? You know what I look like. You don't have to see me. It's easy to see me. Unbelievable. Yeah, graphics agrees with me. I'm feeling it, graphics. I'm feeling like they're kicking it up a fucking notch, really. I don't know what it is. It's just my spidey senses are telling me whatever the fuck this new thing with Israel and Hamas and Iran. I don't know. I just have a feeling that this is kind of like their next stage. I think they're kicking it in. This is the perfect foray. What do? You create a false flag between Hamas and Israel just to kick the whole thing off. I was listening to one YouTube commenter and who I enjoy, and he was like, I don't understand why Hamas would do this. It's so obvious that Israel's just going to go in and they're just going to respond with massive force, with overwhelming force. Well, it only doesn't make sense if you look at it from that light, but it makes sense if you look at it from another light. Why would Hamas do this? Why would Iran do this? Well, I'll answer you this. Maybe they do it because it's in their interest to do so. Maybe they did a calculation. Maybe when these allies, this axis that appears to be Russia, Iran, Syria, maybe they've done a calculation. Maybe war is in their interest. Maybe they're just starting a fucking war. So why would Hamas do this? Why would they parachute into Israel, capture a bunch of people? If it's even real, because it's their interest to do so. Whether or not it's a false flag, whether or not it's staged, is really not the point. It's the narrative, it's the optics that matter. Bear Juice says, let the bodies hit the floor. Hey, whatever it is, it's what it's going to be. Like Jay says, play out the Bible. Let's see what the news is telling us. I'll probably just end up making fun of the fucking news as I read it. What's this first one say? Israel strikes demolish entire neighborhoods and sealed off Gaza. So like I said, the Palestinians lob a few rocks, metaphorically speaking, at Israel, and Israel drops bombs. Of course that's what's going to happen. Why would they do it? Because it's in their interest to do so. Hey guys, why does anybody do anything? It's because it's usually in their interest. It's not hard to figure out. People behave in ways that they perceive will benefit them. So what happens next? Oh, now the U.S. is obligated to defend their ally, Israel. And then here we go. Dominoes falling, as if there's no choice involved, as if there's no discretion. They present these situations as if they're an accomplished fate. Well, if that's true, what does that say? Oh, I thought we have a government. I thought we have an executive, a president who's making decisions. If the president has no discretion concerning war, what does that really mean? Who's really running the show? What else are they saying in the news? Can you guys see it? Am I sharing this? Let me share it. There it is. What else is in the news? I'm going to have to get music for my my news segment. We'll work on that. What's this one say? What you know about NASA's Psyche mission to a metal-rich asteroid this week? Don't even get me started about the whole NASA thing. It's another thing with this NASA stuff. Every morning when I click on the news and check the headlines out, there's a NASA headline every single morning. Nobody's really interested in the NASA presentation anymore. It's not as if you go and just talk to somebody in regular life, they're going to bring up fucking NASA. But either way, they're just presenting this in the news each morning. Subtle indoctrination. Just to remind you that NASA's out there and that they're using your tax money for certain purposes. Really important stuff, scientific stuff. So they're going to tell us again this morning that, oh, they're going to a strange metal asteroid. They talk about things like traveling 22 billion miles. It's insane. These numbers are insane. Hey guys, when you read the news, it's no different than a movie script, a play. Some people say to me, oh, Z, you just think everything's fake. No, I don't think everything's fake. I think the news is fake. I think what's being presented to you and everybody else on these screens is fake. Phony, made up. From the top down. This idea of independent news agencies probably never even existed. We like to romanticize the past. Oh, back in the day when people had integrity. Who says that was the case? I see a system where news was presented from its inception as a control mechanism. Indoctrination from the very beginning. And that goes for Hollywood, all mass media, really. What does that say about this realm? Try to deprogram you guys. Because there's a seduction. There's a draw to this whole game. It's like anything. It's interesting. It's entertaining. But none of it's real. None of it. Here's one about politics. Let's see what they're saying about Trump. Ex-Pence aide recalls what Trump said about MAGA fans in private. It's not good. I don't even need to read these articles. The article is just pulp. It doesn't matter. It's about the presentation. It's about the headline and then the image. So now the it's called the Huff Post. It used to be called the Huffington Post. I guess that was too many syllables. So now it's just the Huff Post. They're going to give you some political story about Pence and Trump. They're going to throw Trump in your face. It's WWE, everybody. It's baby faces and heels. It's a show. Don't take it seriously. Hey, others around you, they're going to want to take it seriously. Just know they're buying into a fantasy. They like the entertainment. It's fun. It's emotionally engaging. None of it's real. No, Z, what do you mean none of it's real? Give us evidence. What else are they showing here? Oh, here's this chick. Representative Lauren, what's her name? Boebert? What the hell's this chick's name? This chick. As far as congresswomen go, she's doable, definitely. She's kind of like that Sarah Palin. Remember that Sarah Palin when they trotted her out in front of the whole political theater? This chick's not bad looking. She's got a couple kids too. I mean, she's average at best. But I mean, look at her. As far as like politics goes, I mean, come on. So they first presented her as the sort of pro-Trump, pro-MAGA, gun-toting congresswoman. Now she's kind of being presented as like, you know, the sexy congresswoman. She's in the middle of a divorce. She's running around on camera with like all these guys. They had her like vaping in a theater. So she's playing her role. And I gotta admit, like, it distracts me. I mean, come on. Come on, guys. You know it. She's kind of a hottie. She's definitely like a MILF. She's got the glasses thing going, the sexy librarian. You know she's a freak, too. She's like a WWE diva. You know, in wrestling, they had like the hot bitches. Oh, no, they got the hot bitch congresswomen. They got to bring them out. I think these Republican ladies are kind of hotter than the Democrats. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Putin issues first comments on attack on Israel. Let's see what Putin has to say. Russian President Vladimir Putin made his first comments on the recent attack by Hamas on Israel during talks in Moscow with Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed al-Sudani. Putin claimed the situation was a clear example of the failure of U.S. policy in the Middle East. Is it U.S. policy in the Middle East, or is it Israeli policy in the Middle East? Who's really running the show here? And of course, they tied in with Ukraine. There's a large Ukrainian community in Israel. Yeah, you don't say. Blah-bitty-blee, blah-bitty-blah. Guys, I don't know if Putin's really running the show in Russia. He might be. I can tell you Biden ain't running the damn thing. So what does that say? If the U.S. president is not running the U.S. nation, is the Russian president running the Russians? Are they different somehow? Although he does look a little bit more competent than that Joe Biden and that Donald Trump. I'm not sure. Who knows? Putin may know a little something. What else are they telling us here in the news? Like I said, YouTube, if you don't want me to do sing-alongs, I'll just come here and kind of like show my listeners like what a clown show you're presenting in your media. Because it really is a joke. More about the Israeli Music Festival and Hamas. Oh, look, more about NASA. What does this say? NASA alarmed to see space flakes drifting past space station window. Let's read this one. The International Space Station's Russian segment has sprung yet another leak. Oh, not another one. The third in less than a year. Raising urgent questions about the reliability of the country's space program. Oh my God. Hey guys, here's a little secret from your pal Z. There's no ISS. It's bullshit. Like I come on and I like do fun segments for you guys where I kind of insinuate things and ask questions. I'm just going to tell you now, it's stupid, it's dumb, it's impossible. The story doesn't hold up. Like the Russian segment of the space station. Are you kidding me? I don't even want to go into it. It's almost beyond comprehension when I look at it. There's more shit on Elon Musk and his relationships. I gotta say, Elon, you're a complete moron and an idiot. But now looking at like this picture of your ex-girlfriend, I can understand why you would like accept this position you've been given. Like if that's part of the fringe benefits, if you're just gonna throw like young little Hollywood starlets at me, I might consider being like the next Elon Musk. It was like that guy Howard Hughes. It was like the Elon Musk of his time, like of like the 30s, 40s, and 50s. A lot of you guys know who Howard Hughes is. Yeah, apparently when you become one of these minions of the system, one of the best benefits is little fringe benefits like this. You just get Hollywood starlets thrown at you. This is one of them. This is that Amber Heard chick. How many of my listeners are going to say, oh, she's a dude. Look at her Adam's apple. Okay. So she's a dude. Gives a fuck. Look at this idiot, Jimmy Kimmel. It's weird. I used to be a fan of like this Jimmy Kimmel guy. They tried out these talk show hosts. Totally sold out. Total jokes. Hey guys, if you're the real deal, you're not going to make it in their system. You could be truth or light. Like, what's his name? Russell Brand, that guy. But if you're the real deal, you're never going to make it in their system. That's why I'm not attached to the money here on YouTube. Hey, if Z makes a little fucking change on YouTube, I'm not going to turn it down. But I'm not really interested in it right now. Because that's the way that they corrupt these people. I don't want to mention any content creators in these communities. I don't need to do that anymore. But I've even watched it here. The specter of shekels and how it alters people's behaviors and presentation. I'm not really interested in your shekels. Like I'm saying, like I said, I'm not like against people prospering and being rewarded, reimbursed for their time and energy. But it's a slippery slope. It starts off small, and then you end up being this fucking guy, Jimmy Kimmel. Total sellouts. Hey guys, you might not know where the line is. You might not know the exact moment that you sell your soul. But once you've done it, you know it. And then the question is, can you get it back? Here's a new one. Here's another one. Donald Trump is now obsessing over Ron DeSantis. Again, the article doesn't even matter. It's the headline and the image. That's all it is. That's how indoctrination works. More about Hamas and Israel. Give a headline and show the image. So crazy. Kim Kardashian. Do I even need to go there? Total joke. Here's another one. Taylor Swift and this guy, this Travis Kelsey guy, the football player. Like, you wonder, like, are these two even really hooking up? Or is this just a complete presentation? Some people are going to try to tell me that Taylor Swift's a dude. I'm not way into you, Miss Swift. But that being said, like, I certainly, what do they say? I wouldn't kick you out of bed. But they got this Taylor Swift hooking up with this Travis Kelsey guy. There's another one of these complete sellouts. Apparently, this dude's in a Pfizer ad. He's one of these guys that say, yeah, you know, I took the jab because I'm responsible and I care about people in my family. Like I said, guys, you might not know the moment that you sell your soul. You might not know when you've crossed the line. But at some point, once you've realized that indeed you've crossed that line, the question is, can you ever come back from it? Because I'm not sure you can. Oh, here's another one. These two have been in the news. The Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas. Been watching this one play out. Soap opera for everybody. Some people say this is all fake, that's all show. I don't think so. I think they find these little idiot celebrities and they just use their stories for their propaganda machine. She's another one. Is there an Adam's apple on this chick? This is the Game of Thrones chick. Hey guys, don't get married. It's not going to work out for you. Like, if you're a young guy listening to me right now, just don't get. I'm not saying you can't have relationships with people. Just don't get married, guys. It's not to your benefit. So if somebody were to say to me, Z, yo, you're just hurt and bitter. You know, why? Why shouldn't a guy get married? I'll just say this. Because it's not to your benefit. Marriage benefits women, not men. Why would you do it? See, I wouldn't say the same thing to a woman. You don't hear me saying to women, don't get married. Because it's not the same. When you get married through the state, gentlemen, you're entering a legal contract with another person. But it's a contract through which, or a contract that is enforced through a system, usually the family court system, that is inherently biased towards women. So it begs the question, why would anybody enter into a legally binding contract that's biased? You're not going to make out, guys. Don't do it. Women are women and men are men. There's biological realities amongst the sexes that people choose to ignore. One of those biological realities is that women are ruled by their emotional state. What does that mean? It means a woman may stick with you, but she may leave you. And she may leave you at any given point along that relationship timeline. You don't really know. Oh, people point to outlier marriages. Oh, this couple's been married 40 years, 50 years. Well, as most things, the exception proves the rule. It doesn't benefit you, men. No, Z's just bitter and hurt, bitter and hurt. Here's this congresswoman again. Like I said, she's doable. I mean, I get it. Like she's she's no spring chicken anymore. But she's attractive. Oh, Z, you have no respect for women. No, I just don't respect congressmen and senators. What else do they have in the fake news? And it's the same people over and over and over again. They recycle these celebrities. They get us to buy into their lives as if we should give a fuck about any of them. What a sad state of affairs. Look, they're really pushing this Elon Musk thing. Let's look at Elon. Let's just stare at Elon for a little bit. This is X. Give me an Elon picture. There he is. Hi, Elon. Let me ask you, when you look at this picture of this man, what do you see? Do you see a genius? Do you see a man who's basically the savior of humanity? Because let's think about how he's being presented. He's being presented as the genius that's going to bring us to Mars, who's already running a company that's shuttling cargo and humans to and from the International Space Station. He's the CEO of Twitter. I guess it's called X now. He's instituting a Starlink program that's going to revolutionize wireless communications all around the world. He's developing the Neuralink technology, which will institute the transhumanist era. Do you see that guy? Or are you like me? You just look at him, you just see like a regular guy. The Elon Musk presentation is impossible. There's nobody that's that much of... Guys, have you ever seen like real geniuses, like true geniuses? Most of them can barely fucking get out of bed in the morning. You can watch documentaries. Yeah, I watched a documentary on a guy who had an IQ of like 180 or something like that. He's a complete genius. The guy can barely operate his own life. He could barely pay his own bills. True genius comes with another side of it. They used to call it idiot savant. Picture Rain Man. Picture Smith W. No offense, Smith, but it's true. True genius comes with another side to it. Elon Musk very likely has an average to slightly above average intelligence at best. They even admit that when he was in school, he was a subpar student. He's an empty shell. He might not even be like human. I don't know what these things are. But people buy it. Here's one. Mama Kamala. Let's take a look at her. This is your vice president, everybody. Least we forget. What do they say about the vice presidency? One heartbeat away. That's right. She's one heartbeat away from being apparently the most powerful person in the world. This person right here, Kamala Harris. This person, she looks like she should be like the head of HR at like some insurance company. Now it's the vice president. Good thing presidents don't really do anything anyway. Like, I'm sure there's some people, like a lot of these MAGA people, that are fixated on the fact that Mama Kamala is the vice president of the United States. Honestly, I can care less. You can put anybody in that position. I could probably care less. Joke. Oh, and by the way, Mama Kamala, not doable. She's not doable. More Trump. Yeah, I see you, Mr. Trump. The optics are high. Look, yet another article about Elon Musk. You're going to be sure when you turn on the news every day, you're going to see certain faces. You're going to see Elon. You're going to see Trump. You're going to see like a Kardashian. Joke. What else are they going to trot in front of us? You're going to see a lot of this gender bending stuff. Tranny shit. It's so crazy, man. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this all wrong. Maybe my whole Z theory that the news is just a WWE production, completely fake engineered from the top down. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all your neighbors are right. Maybe all the family members that tell me I'm crazy, maybe they're right. Look at these late night hosts. Look at these soulless, look at their faces. This is what is being presented to the people as entertainment, as information. Like, what sick fucking deal did you guys make? Do you literally sign your soul away? Like, does Mephistopheles, the demon, show up, present like a fiery quill and ink, and do you sign your fucking literal souls away? Or do you just do it slowly, incrementally over time until you realize you're just an empty shell, one after another? I almost can't even look into their eyes. That's when you really look at these people. It's all in their eyes. Ooh, I gotta get off this picture. It's too much for me. It's funny, more people are watching me now that I'm just like casually going through the headlines than would if I had guests up here. That's interesting to me. I'm gonna remember that. Just more nonsense. Oh, gotta throw something about China in there. Completely insane. All right, it's enough of the news. We'll get music for the news segment. Let me just come back. Let me just talk to you guys. It's funny, some of you guys were so surprised to see me. Like, I was gone from YouTube for 1 week. And in whatever timeline we're in now that might as well have been like 100 years for some people. So if anybody knows why I was going, I got a copyright strike for specifically, it was either The Sound of Music or Mary Poppins. We were having a Z sing-along. So I don't know really what I can get away with here. I'm going to take it slow when it comes to like my music, my sounds. I don't think I have to cut all my sound effects out. I'm not sure they're going to strike me for everything. It's weird. It seems like they place more importance on certain things. Like there's certain things I play that they shut my stream down right in the middle of it. And it seems like I got the strike because they shut my stream down. I came back and I repeated the same thing because I thought they shut it down for something else. So I don't know where I can go with this. So we're going to like just play with it as we go along. But I'm taking an approach now where I'm realizing this is a long game. A lot of my show is just coming here each morning and doing my show, letting it develop, letting it breathe. I've already said so many things. I can only come on here and say the same things over and over again each morning. I don't have to come on here and tell you that NASA's lying to you every day. You know, I've done that. Now there's new people here. So what I'm doing is I'm going through my old stuff and I'm making clips. I'm editing things. I'm making little segments and highlights. So I'm doing that, but I dropped the link for areas. Let's bring up London Man. Rocky said, I guess my content sucks because I only got 131 subs. Rocky, did I sub to your channel, Rock? I think I dropped a link to your I don't know, Rocky. Well, you know you're always welcome up here, Rocky. Come promote your shit up here. It's just the way it is, Rocky. It's not about your content sucking. It's about knowing that if you want to present here, you're going to have to do it consistently. And you're going to have to do it with the understanding that any growth is going to be organic, grassroots. You're not going to get any help from the algorithms. And you really have to do it for the love of the game. Anything that comes from that is extra. Let's set up London Man. London Man, welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Howdy, Z. How we doing, my man? Welcome back. Welcome back.
What's up, London Man? You always used to like when I would do the news segment, which is interesting because I was just doing the news and my numbers peaked. I stopped doing the news. They went down. For me, it seems kind of boring, but it seems like people like the news, dude. It's weird. What do you think about that?
I told you that is the money right there. You know, headlines with Z, right? Was that the first part? Headlines with Z. Do you remember that time? Yeah, that was the one. I told you, Z. I told you that's gold right there, bro. That's gold.
Yeah.
You know, good to have you back, though, bro. Very good to have you back.
Yeah, man, it's cool. You know, it's weird coming back, even just being off for like 7 or 8 days. I was getting in my head, London Man. You know what I mean? Like not being able to come on. I'm in my head, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm watching other content creators. I'm just kind of sitting back, evaluating the scene. I'm kind of like categorizing, prioritizing what I'm doing here, why I'm here. Like London, I don't know about you, but I'm constantly, actively, proactively, consciously sort of like taking inventory of my intentions. I'm like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Oh, that's why. You know, I keep reminding myself because otherwise I think there's a tendency to get too drawn in by whatever this whole metaverse is. There's so many things that play on your mind, your ego, your emotions, that I think tend to distract. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, dude, because more and more I want to move away from the fucking distractions, dude, because they're always going to be there. Other content creators, fucking petty beef. I'm trying to get away from it, dude. What's your thoughts?
I agree. Let me apologize in advance for the background noise. I got baby girl with me again, so she's awake this time. So excuse the noise. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. It is well easy to get sidetracked, you know, and not complete the mission. You know, my mission is still ongoing because my research isn't completed yet. So people will try to distract you, throw humps in the road, you know. So this is why I've kind of like created my second channel, just in case if I do feel like addressing anything, right, I'll address it in a correct manner. I address it in the correct manner, you know, and this will get people in their feelings, right? When you address things in your own time and in the correct way. It's almost like it's their garlic to these vampires, right? But at the same time, it's not something I really want to do, Z. But if it needs to be done, it has to be done, right? It's like mommy and daddy don't want to spank you, but if they have to spank you, they will spank you, right? And then get back to cleaning the dishes and cleaning up the house, right? That's how we do it out here, Z.
Yeah, I get that, dude. Because there's been times where like I felt like that there was a need to respond, and I did. You know, I kind of take it as it comes. Part of me realizes there's a method to it, because one approach is to take the high road all the time, to not respond, to not engage. But I like what you said there. It's about picking and choosing your battles, so to speak, because it really comes down to what does it benefit? Does it benefit you or not? Is something beneficial or detrimental? And really, for me, that's what it comes down to. So if I feel as though it benefits me to speak about another content creator, I'll do so. Otherwise, I'm just going to let it go, man. People look bad anyway. Like, you know, there were some things you probably saw being said about you on a certain channel the other day that I was listening to, man, that I wanted to respond in chat, but I'm like, I don't need to take up for London Man. I'll let London Man take up for himself. You know, so I get where you're coming from, having certain moments where you respond, sometimes you don't. But a lot of it, dude, I'm kind of moving on from this bullshit, because I almost feel like I'm punching down to some people, even people that have bigger numbers than me, that maybe want to have smoke with me. I still feel like I'm punching down on them. And I'm realizing that. I'm like, okay, well, you might have a few more listeners, you might have a few more subscribers, but that doesn't really make you more of a heavy hitter than me. You only momentarily have a little bit more juice. That could change in an instant, dude. We're all like one viral video away from like blowing up, really. You know what I mean? Like we're all like one thing away, one appearance somewhere. It's so this whole game that we're playing, this whole power dynamic game, it's really an illusion in a lot of ways. And it's the other way. Everybody's just one push of a button away from getting their channel wiped out, you know, from getting deplatformed. It's a fucking joke, really, in the end, dude. It really is.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I definitely like the part where you just said, you know, we're one video away from, yeah, that hit home right there. That hit home, because I mean, some people's had that opportunity, in my opinion, right? And what do they do with that opportunity that came their way? Nothing's come of it, in my opinion. If I ever get that chance to go viral, best believe I'm going in a whole different direction. You know, you're going to see something come of it. You're not going to see me back with the riffraffs. You know, I'm gonna elevate myself and my platform and the people around me. I'm not gonna come back down to this level where I got to start fighting with the riffraffs again. It don't make sense. All I need is one chance, like Eminem said, right?
Well, dude, yeah, that's what, you level up, you move on. The other thing I realize is getting back to like avoiding the distractions is really focusing on what's one's message. Like I say to myself, what's my message? What am I doing here? Like I'm to the point now where I'm writing this stuff down. You can call it like a mission statement, statement of purpose, but I'm at the point, London man, where I'm like actively defining to myself what my mission is, what my goals are. A lot of it comes back to what I said to you before about I came on YouTube for one purpose and one purpose only, and it was really to kind of stick it to the man, dude. To express myself in a way to advocate for what I see as human dignity, human freedom, and what I see as a tyrannical world, an increasingly tyrannical world. And basically, like MFT says, truth. When we get away from truth, we're losing the message. I came on here to give my perspective, to present what could loosely be called my truth to the world. Everything after that is just frills and just fancy little dressing. It's really about that to me. I came here to stick it to the man. I came here to tell the fuckers to go fuck themselves. As long as I keep doing that, I'm on the right course. When I start veering away from that, that's when I need to course correct. So I'm kind of there. I came on here to stick it to the man. I lost London's back. You there? You kind of blipped out for a second.
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I'm here.
Cool.
Mic check. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good. So that's what it is for me, dude. Like we all have our goals here, but I think the important thing is to remember what each of our individual goals are. If you don't know what your goal is, then what's the point? Maybe you lost your goal. Maybe you lost your focus. Maybe it's time to refocus. Maybe it's time to pivot. You could change, you could move things up, but
Yeah, well, I mean, I hear what you're saying there, Z, but it comes to a point where even if you tell somebody, right, that they're far away from home or they're not really yeah, we'll go with that one. If you tell someone they're far away from home, like what you just said, really away from their mission, sometimes that might even rub them the wrong way. That might even rub them the wrong way when you tell people, hey, stick to the code. You remember what you was originally going to do. So it's down to the individual person, really. At the end of the day, it's down to the individual person. If they're really sincere about what they're really talking about and the message they have, then they'll stick to that plan. Whether it's a plan that they have or something they're working on. So yeah, I agree with what you said, but some people won't even like the criticism that kind of telling them to stay on their guard still. They won't even like that. They'll take it in the wrong way, So I've come to realize now in this metaverse world, you will be accountable for what you say, whether you like it or not. You will be accountable. You will be held accountable, sorry.
well, it's all on record. I think what it is we may drift off course in life. This could be with anything. You may find yourself in a place that you didn't expect, that you may even be ashamed of. But the reality is it's never too late to do the right thing. You can always do the right thing at each given moment, no matter how far off course you find yourself. You can always do the right thing. If you have breath in your lungs, you always have the chance for redemption.
Tell him, Z. Jeez, cold. I like that one. I like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, because this world's going to try to trick you. That's what I was saying before when I was reading the news. You know, are we ever too far gone? Have you ever given your soul away to a point where it's irredeemable? I'd like to think not. I'd like to think you always have that choice. You always have that choice to do the right thing. That's where the free will comes in, the free choice, things like that. Now, the question is, can one get beyond their ego enough to realize it's time to course correct? There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of things that could take us off, bring us in different directions. But it's the awareness of it when you reach a certain point. And then are you willing to face the consequences? You're going to clean up your mess. You're going to clean up your own house. There's so many ways to go with it. What do you make into this Israel-Palestine thing, London man? Are you avoiding the news like I do? I don't know. There's a part of me that's feeling drawn back into the news only because I feel like we're entering a certain stage in the course of human history that say maybe consequential. What do you think, man? Is the news all bullshit, or is it time to start paying attention for survival? What do you think?
You know what? I was gonna say it's all bullshit, right? But until you added that last bit at the end, the survival part, that just flipped it around for me. You see, I don't know how you do it. You got a fucking way of words, man. Yeah, I mean, I suppose some people would say it's time to start paying attention to the news, but I can't, Z. I really can't. I mean, there's enough people covering the news anyway, you know, within the community that we're in and outside of the community.
Right.
And I feel like if I do sit down to watch this news or take time out to listen to it, I'll just be caught up in that loop again. I know discernment comes into play, right? But push the discernment aside. It's the time that it's going to take away from me and things that I want to do out here, you know, because I might get caught up. I might say, oh, let me sit down and watch another 15 minutes of this. Then 15 minutes turn into 2 hours, Z. And then they got me right there again, right? They got me there again, Z. So I don't know, but the part you said about survival, oh, that hit different, bro. That hit different. I mean, I wonder if, oh man, Z, why'd you have to say that part at the end?
Right, because you and I seem like we're in the same place, because as much as I'd like to, like you said, avoid that energy of it and live my life, the reality is if certain things happen the way they may happen, well, we're talking about real life things, man. You know, if we're talking about the collapsing of the currency, if we're talking about things like, hey, look at the last 3 years, man. As much as I tried to avoid the news, I was in a profession that I was forced to make a choice. It's like when the news comes knocking at your door and it begs the question, you know, what's the cost of ignorance? What's the cost of, let's say, you know, the ignorance is bliss? Because it ends up on your doorstep. So maybe it's again about the balance. You know, maybe it's like anything in life. It's not really about choosing one side or the other. Maybe it really is about that middle path. And maybe that really is the crux to life, dude, is about finding balance in this world in all ways. Because as much as I want to reject a lot of this stuff, I'm realizing more and more that if I'm to be in some way a leader, if I'm to be responsible for others, there's components of that that can't be escaped. And there's kind of maybe some uncomfortable realities that that one needs to embrace. Because I used to be way into that stuff, man. Like I used to buy into the whole thing. And then I think my pendulum swung the other way where I didn't want to have anything to do with it. Now I'm just trying to find maybe a more reasonable middle ground with it. What is this person? Joe R says, the problem is, Z, this community didn't know the middle path. They tend to swing to extremes. Exactly, Joe R. I noticed the pendulum swing, you know, and you know, London Man, at certain part, you know, if one is to consider themselves in some leadership position, whether it's in your community, whatever it is, maybe there's an understanding that there's uncomfortable realities to being accountable that need to be embraced. And I think maybe the idea of being aware socially, I think, is important. And because how can you be a leader without knowing the landscape? If you have boundaries, you have to be aware of any potential incursions into one's boundary, violations, acts of aggression, things like that. You have to be aware. I think there's an awareness to it that matters.
I agree. I agree. I like the way you dropped, you know, if you don't know the landscape, that's a brilliant analogy. If you don't know the landscape, yeah. You got away with words, my bro. You got away with words. I'll give that to you. You got away with words, definitely. You know, and I like that comment that someone said about, you know, there's no in between in this community, so to speak. It's just extreme of both ends. You know, that was pretty spot on as well. That was pretty spot on. I mean, in fair play, there is a few people that, you know, is balanced in my opinion. But as a whole, there's just two extremes, you know, on each end. I don't really see the middle ground being talked about, or no one really representing the middle ground in between that as much. So yeah, yeah, I like that one.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I put on a show. It's Z Show, because what I want to avoid is this guru mentality. I don't want to come on here and present myself as a guru to people. So I structure it as a show for a reason, because then people could take it or leave it. You know, it gives it a certain category. Because I don't want to come on here as a guru, because I certainly don't know everything. I don't want to present as if I do know everything. It's foolish. You know, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I don't need that. London Man, I don't need the adoration. I don't need that in my life. I don't have that part of me, that empty spot that needs to be filled. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person. I'd rather fill the empty parts inside of me with relationships in real life. I'd rather spend some time with a good friend, a loved one, build things in my community. I don't need the adoration here. A lot of this is a mind game for me. It's handling those things, you know, it's putting those things in perspective, and working my way through it. But I think, London, in the end, as time goes on, the viewers start to see things. They start to see through people. Narratives get old, they get played out, and people tend to move on. I see certain content creators that get desperate to hold on to something, and they start to get into a dysfunctional relationship, I think, with their listeners, where then they become codependent, you know, and that they basically start to present a victim narrative to their listeners, where the listeners then become in some way, let's say, obligated to that. I've done it myself, London Man, where I've tuned into people. I even still do it to this day. I'll tune into a certain content creator just because of familiarity, or that because I feel obliged to do so. But over time, that it goes away. That's been in any relationship with my life. And over time, I realize, oh, okay, that I reach a point, a threshold where I'm like, I no longer feel obliged to give my time, attention, and energy to this person, to this endeavor, and then I move on. And I don't know. I think people over time have a discernment, and I'd like to give people credit. Maybe I'm giving them more credit than they deserve. Go ahead.
I agree. I mean, even the other day. I'm not sure whether you're aware, but I mean, you said you like to watch this person sometimes, so you could be aware. But even with Mr. Jack Talcott, right? Salutes to Jack Talcott. But you know, his relationship with Mr. Anslavia, it's been a rocky road, so to speak, right? Up and down, up and down. And looking from the inside out, right? If I was just on neutral grounds, I would be like, hey, it's better you both go your own way, right? It's better you both go your own way and keep it that way until, you know, you seek a common ground. But some people, whether they know there's not going to be a common ground, they would still find themselves around each other. And this is where, you know, things get into that spiraling mode again, because there's nothing there between two parties and you're trying to force something between two parties, right? And this is where things get into that spiral motion, you know. People start to see, or as Snaffy would say, the optics begin to get high, right? You see it for what it really is, because nothing's coming out of it. There's no creativity coming out of it, no good production coming out of that stuff. It's just a back and forth relationship. But salutes to both of them. If that's what they want to do, then hey, I can't tell you what to do. I can only say just be aware of the things you do out here. Just be aware of the things you do out here. I can't say stay away from that person or stay away from that person, because I'm nobody's daddy, right? But I can just say be aware. As a good person, I can give you the heads up and say be aware.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not aware of what motivates anybody, right? But I'll just say in general, we can see that type of dynamic being played out through all kinds of relationships, any interpersonal dynamics that people may have. You find these things, you know, I call it codependency because it's a word we could latch on to. It's when you find yourself in a relationship with somebody that, as you said, it's really not serving either individual. It's dysfunctional at its core, but yet people proceed with the relationship anyway for multiple reasons. And it begs the question, why? Because the reality is, by continuing the relationship, both parties are actually closing themselves off to the possibilities of other better relationships. We live in a reality that there's certain understandings of time, energy, and attention. You can't have all things all at once. You have to prioritize things. These are things you realize as you get older too, by the way, guys. You realize how precious your time, energy, and attention is. And you realize eventually that when you're engaging in dysfunctional relationships, you're presenting the opportunity for functional relationships. And I think people do it for so many reasons, you know, insecurities, you know, familiarity. I think people have a repetition compulsion, so we tend to play out dysfunction from our childhood, from times where we were developing our personality. Yeah, like Small Town Girl says, codependence, really. And I think a lot of us find ourselves in those situations. But the key is, I think, to be aware of it and to break pattern. I think a lot of the mind matrix that we find ourselves in, London, is about patterns. I think humans have a tendency for pattern-like behavior, and I think the controllers exploit that. So I think one of the ways to glitch out the matrix is to break patterns, do things differently, say things differently, consciously and with purpose. Alter your thoughts and your behaviors. Get out of your patterns, because when you're just in that that mindset, you're operating unconsciously, really, and then you're just expressing the program. You're just running the embedded program that's been downloaded and indoctrinated. That's more and more what I see, dude, is people running a script, they're running a program. People will almost just say what you expect them to say. They'll just give the narrative. Usually it's a false binary. You don't really see people expressing themselves in a creative way anymore. I think it has to be conscious. I think you have to, on purpose, break pattern, do things differently.
I agree. I totally agree with that. To the point where I see a lot of people, they're becoming so predictable, bro. I can read their next move from, 2027. That's how predictable things are becoming out here now. And yeah, it's crazy how it got like that. It's crazy how it got like that. Or was it always like this, Z? Was it always like this? Was I missing something? It's wild. Yeah,
It's a
that's
good
wild.
question, man. I asked myself that same question. That are we seeing a new engineered humanity, or has this social media just highlighted the parts of humanity that have been occulted up to this point? I think it's a little both. I think it's both. I think it's the technology is influencing and engineering humanity, but also at the same time just highlighting certain fundamental characteristics of humanity. I think they're playing us on both ends. And I think that's the key. Again, it's avoiding those pendulum swings and coming to some understanding, some middle ground. Man, this whole reality just might be about finding that middle ground, the homeostasis, the balance. Everything just might be about balance. That might be the key in this realm. It might be. All right, much love, London. Let's end it here. I don't want to go too long. I want to keep these at a reasonable length, dude. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, bro. And London, I look forward to growing, dude, as a content creator, man. I've seen my growth. The last week that I've been off, I had a chance to go back through my old material. I was backing up all my old stuff, and I was able to watch myself grow over time. I've seen you grow on this platform as we're learning, and I'm enjoying the creative process. One of the things I like about certain creators is that there's no expectation. There's no power dynamics. So if one content creator can recognize another, they can see the artistic integrity in that person, then it creates an opportunity for a collaboration. And that's what I find with certain individuals is that there's an energy of collaboration. When I find an energy of, let's say, control, a power dynamic with somebody, I'm instantly repelled now, and I'm learning more and more to avoid those situations. And I think it's leading to a very interesting dynamic amongst these certain communities. You're seeing certain camps form, and much love to those people, man. And I know a lot of what you've been discussing on your Rebuttal Bar channel has to do with watching, some of these dynamics happen. London, man, I'm at a point now. We need to just let those people go. They need to do what they're going to do. We can't then try to exert our control over them. They have choice. And let them do their thing. That's the way I'm looking at it, man.
Indeed, totally agree with you. Just before you head out, I know I totally agree. I mean, some people over my community, right? They wanted to see me do more stuff with Mr. Jack Talcott because they like his message and they like the person who he is, right? They like the person and everything about him, but he makes it hard with the company he keeps sometimes. You understand? He makes it very hard with the company he keeps. Some people might say the same thing about me, I don't know, but they don't say it about me. That's the thing. I don't really hear people saying the company I keep, but I can see it on the other feet. But it's what people do with themselves and their time, and it speaks a lot of volumes. We all got eyes to see the things that are going on out here, and we got ears to hear the things that have been said out here. So yeah, I'll leave it there, Z. But much love, bro. Much love, and I probably will go live a bit later. We'll see how the day goes on. But yeah, great to have you back, bro. Great to have you back. Hey, I know it feels upsetting, right? When you can't even put nothing in your community post to say, hey folks, I'm down for the week, you know. Hey, I know how that feels,
Right.
Z. You couldn't even give them the heads up to say, yo, hey, I know how you feel, bro.
Well, London, it's weird because I could tell people it almost like they felt like I was abandoning them, right?
Yes.
And you
Yes.
know, you want to be, because I get it. People get in their routines and stuff. Let me ask you about what you think about copyrighted material and stuff, because you know me, I play certain things. Like when you come up, London, man, I have like music for you. I like that vibe, dude, right? But I'm gun shy now because if you're going to strike my channel for copyrighted stuff, then well, what am I going to do? But I'm trying to find that balance, dude. What do you think? Like, is there a balance where you can play things? What do they allow us to get away with? What have you found, dude, as a creator, man?
We can't get away with nothing out here, Z.
It seems like it, dude. It really fucking,
You,
because I don't know what they're going to hit me for. You understand? So I could play your music right now, right? Which is a Dusty Springfield song, but it's not even the Dusty Springfield song. It's an instrumental version that somebody made and uploaded. So I can play that to create the vibe, but at the same time, that just could be the excuse. I don't need to give them an excuse to take my channel away, dude, because somebody else might get away with it. Somebody who's going to come on and talk about Kanye West and Taylor Swift all morning, they can probably get away with doing that. I don't think I can. Your thoughts?
yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know, because like you said, right, some people can get away with it, some people can't. And it seems like they seem to be picking on the smaller content creators, because I watch some of these big content creators, right? And I'm like, okay, if they're doing that, I'm gonna do that. But next week, I still see them streaming, but I can't stream. I got shut down, but I did the exact same thing they did. So it makes
Right.
me think, what the fuck is going on here? I'm only doing what you did, and you're still running, and I'm not running anymore. What the fuck's up? So it's like what they say as a child, right? Or what your parents used to say to you, right? Children are supposed to be seen and not heard. It's a bit like on this content, on this metaverse, right? We can play some of this audio stuff, but we can't show the visuals to it. This is when they fucking hit us on the handsy, when we start showing video visuals with their audio.
All right. So maybe that's it. Because London, it's so funny you say that, dude, because what they took me down for, I was showing like the visuals. It wasn't just the audio. I was playing the fucking Mary Poppins and Sound of Music, but I was showing it, and that's when they wiped me out right there. So I'm
Bingo.
trying to find a fucking balance. I'm going to put the link into my new channel, my second channel. So links in the chat, guys, for Z Network. That's my second. London, man, I didn't realize how easy it was to create a second channel. It's like 2 buttons and you have another channel, dude. It's crazy, dude.
yeah. I know. But hey, I had no intentions of doing a second channel, because I didn't know it was like this on this metaverse. I had no idea it was going to get like this, and I had no idea it was like this. So that's why I had no intentions to do a second channel. But as time goes on, we learn things, right? We learn things out here. So salutes to that.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're learning. Like, dude, people were saying, "Oh, Z, he fucking sunk his stream on purpose," things like that. No, guys, I was trying to see what the fuck I can play. You know what's funny, London, man? People watch us and they're so conditioned into a certain mindset through media, this polished presentation that they see, this agenda-based media. They don't understand when they see a guy like me and you, we're developing our technique, we're developing our show, our channels, right? They don't understand that we're kind of like learning as we go. It's organic, it's grassroots. Things are going to happen. People think that everything's just ready to go, dude. You know, like pre-made. It doesn't work like that. People don't realize London Man goes to work, and then when he comes home, he does a show. Maybe he's off and he does a show. I wake up early so I could do a show. When I'm done, guys, I'm going to go do work after this. Yesterday, I was chopping wood. The day before that, I was remodeling a bedroom. I was painting, doing drywall. You know, I was out building a deck. So don't think, you know, but people are messed up, dude. They think that it's something else. I don't know. Who knows, man? In any way, no, says Z, if your channels are connected in any way, they're both vulnerable to the other. Yeah, I know, Z. There's a certain Z. No, I know there's a component to that, but that they could strike one channel if it's related, strike the other. I know there's things there. I get that too. That's why I also have a an Odyssey account and a Rumble account, which I'll link those tomorrow and I'll sub them. So I'm backing all my shit up. I'll create an IG account. I'll create a Facebook account. I'll do all that stuff. It's been a long time coming anyway with all that stuff, dude.
CZ, let me just speak on that before I jump off, because I haven't even yet to begun to get into that realm of stuff, connecting this to that, that to this to that, to, you know, make myself more superior out here. I haven't even yet to begun yet, Z. I'm just out here on the grade 1 level, right? But I'm still making an impact out here. I haven't yet to begun, Z. Just like yourself, if you was ever to go back to this Sunday's shift, right? It's game over. It's game over. It's game over. It's game over. Because you know when they say less is more? There you go. And I leave it right there, my bro. Hey, Z, thanks for having me up, bro. Much love all the time. And shout out to your chat room, the grand old chat room. Much love, Z. Much love. Peace out, bro.
Back at you, London, man. All right, guys, let's wrap it. Thanks for being here, guys. That'll do it. That'll bring us to the end of another Z show. Working out the kinks today. I appreciate you guys. But we'll get it back. We'll get it back on the tracks. There's ways around this stuff. You get it? Like, so if I want to play like a certain music, I'll just find a non-copyrighted version of it. It's going to take me a little time. All right, YouTube, if you're going to hold me to the fire, then it is what it is. We're playing in their sandbox, everybody. Because like I said, I could just go, guys, I can go right outside. I could stand on a street corner and I could say whatever the fuck I want. No one's going to stop me. But if I'm going to come here on this platform and say things to you, there's certain rules I'm going to have to follow. It is what it is. You want to dance? Let's dance. Much love, everybody. Let's do it again tomorrow. Adios.